Hey everybody, it's me, Ashley Brooke. Just in case someone is new watching this, just for the record, I'm autistic, and I have two autistic kids also. My autism experience was, I was nonverbal till I was 7, and then I stopped talking again from 10 to 11, and there were certain social situations that made me kind of withdraw again and not want to participate. So I wanted just to bring some awareness for that for parents that have autistic children, or just for autistic young youth that would appreciate being seen and understood. It's very frustrating. I'm 38 today, and it still gets frustrating. So I wanted to go over so there's 6 stages of play with children, and this goes for all children, neurotypical children as well, and they have the milestones of how when they're supposed to participate in each type of play, how much they're willing to participate, so I wanted to let you know that sometimes autistic children, some areas may be delayed. For example, my son has some development, some areas he his development is they have told me at 2. That's when they did that assessment on him. So what you don't want to do is be so wanting them to engage and go in there and be like, come on, let's play, all full and pressing them, to do it, because they may seem older and they're bigger, but sometimes parts of our development is delayed when we're younger. Mine was, and I quickly, not over time, I was able to catch up, so I'm just gonna go over the types of play, the stages of play. So 0 to 3 months is called unoccupied play. When a baby is making movements with their arms, legs, hands, feet, they are learning about and discovering how their body moves, okay? If you're doing that with your child, moving their hands and legs, if they're autistic, a lot of times they'll be more like jackrabbit kicking you. That's a good way. It's off topic, but that's a sign of that the child's autistic, by the way. And then there's solitary play. When there are babies, they don't really have control over what they're willing to participate. The mom's just usually look in their face, But when you get to 0 to 2 years old, when a child plays alone and are not interested in playing with others quite yet, okay, solitary play. Now, my daughter is 2.5, and she'll always go and isolate and go hide in behind corners and sit somewhere where it's very enclosed. Then there's the spectator, onlooker behavior, that's what they call it. That's 2 years old. When a child watches and observes other children playing but will not play with them. My son, I believe he does that. He'll make eye contact and look at them, but he won't engage them, but he'll go next to them. My son Ozzy, and then he's gonna be 11. But like I said, my son's gonna be 11, but he still is at that area of socializing. I feel that it's good to know where your child is in the stages, because then you know the next step, what they're able to do, what their next step is, and to know not to go too overboard and try to put them straight into cooperative play. That's for 4 years and older. Okay, but we're gonna go back down to parallel play. When a child plays alongside and near others, but does not play with them. My daughter does that too. Okay, associate play. When a child starts to interact with others during play, but there is not much cooperation required. Okay. Yeah, my children don't. They're not doing that right now. But my son will giggle and laugh just to like know that he's friendly. He's just and stems and he's like go like stemming. So there's the last one is like cooperative play. So when a child plays with others and has interest in both the activity and the other child involved in playing. So that's the main goal. When I was younger, I didn't want to participate in anything, even with my family, even with like going to visit cousins that were like actually kind of decent to me. I didn't care what they were doing, what activity. I just didn't want to try, didn't want to be put on, on blast. Like I felt like I was being, like everybody's looking at me, like I'm not gonna be able to do whatever activity that they're doing. I was always worried that I wouldn't be able to do it. And I had like kind of like a social anxiety where I would not want to. I'd shut down, and if anybody tried to press me, I was like, come on, like like trying to get me to pull me in and engage somebody. I would have shut down more, and I believe that's what happened because I also endured a lot of trauma, but it was also, there was trauma, but then they were also being like, come on, hurry up, let's go, they were very like pushy. It's like, that's the worst thing to do, So, I just want to like read this to you guys because if your child is, like, don't press them, don't like rush them, be like, oh my god, like what's wrong with you, and like try to like get them to, catch up. Because if you start seeing them, if you start seeing them playing by themselves but like near other kids, that's a good sign that they're just taking their time and they'll get there when they're ready. And it's really important that if they start to play around other kids, it's important for an adult, or a teacher or whoever is with the children to come in and sort of like interact with an activity and grab the attention of both of the children. And because a lot of times the autistic child is not going to do that on their own. Okay. So that will make it a safe place for the child that's autistic to practice socializing, but you're going to want to just do like things that are not directly on them, like I don't know, like let's see, I would say maybe like music or dancing, that freeze with that dance freeze game, if an autistic child sees an adult being very silly and dancing and doing things socially, what happens is that both of the little children are going to be like, like oh, shot, like, and nervous. So it kind of allows like I've seen it because I used to be a teacher, I used to be a preschool teacher, and usually what happens is both the little kids will like look at each other and be like embarrassed, and they'll like laugh, and it kind of makes a little connection, like where they have that moment to like have that socialization with like eye contact and to be like vulnerable, because when you're embarrassed, you're vulnerable, and being silly is vulnerable. So it's just a really good exercise to get them used to socializing. I have many different techniques that help me learn to socialize better. And so this video looks like it's about to run out of time. I will come back in a little bit with another video. Yeah, can't get rid of me.